Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
All right, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? Like it's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Chutes and Ladders podcast.
Chutes and Ladders 2025 WWE Hall of Fame Spotlight. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hey friends, how's it going? It's Desiree Josen.
All right, so we're actually just going to do a spotlight on this year's inductees. We have some great inductees this year. What are your thoughts, Des?
Love this. Hall of Fame is great, and it's always a fun surprise of who they're going to pick and who they don't pick. So, yeah, this lineup for this year is pretty good.
Absolutely. All right, first guy we're going to talk about, obviously turned his life to Christ. He's a man that is just a living legend. He was one of the most ripped guys I've ever seen ever in a wrestling ring, that's for sure. Played football at University of Miami, and to be honest, what really stood out to me is just looking back at it. When I was super young, obviously we watched WWF, and they were slaughtering NWA, but guys like Sting, Ric Flair, and Lex Luger held it down. Yep. What are your thoughts on Lex Luger?
Same. That's all I think about is the early 90s, and I think of that total package. And his body, he always reminded me of one of the American Gladiators.
Yes, that's a good way to explain it.
Because it was the same time, too. And a lot of his gear was American forward. So, the Lex Express. And he was on the first Nitro, which threw a lot of people off because he was signed to WWF, and then he jumped ship to WCW. And we're like, hold on, what is Lex doing there? So, he's amazing, and he's synonymous with the same guys you listed, Sting, Flair, everybody. And it's just too bad that Sting is not inducting him. They're best friends. I love that. I wanted him to be there, but hey, you know what? DDP is inducting him. Yeah. So we got our other favorite WCW guy. So it's going to be good.
Absolutely. And then are there any particular matches that stand out to you?
I just remember him body slamming Yokozuna.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm like, who in the hell can pick up Yoke? And it's Lex. So that's the only thing that really I think about. Okay,
I have one particular memory. I remember when Ric Flair left NWA WCW at the time to go to WWF, the title was vacant. And they could have went multiple directions. I think the obvious was, hey, let's just put it on Sting. No, creative said, look, this is Lex's time. Because Lex was always there. Yeah. And he defeated Barry Windham for the title. We're talking about early 90s. So some people are going to get lost about this, but I do remember that. I was a little kid, but I thought that was so cool. And I love the fact that they gave him that opportunity to kind of run with it. I think he eventually lost. He switched over to being a heel, lost to Sting, but him and Sting are best friends anyway. So, but yeah, that's actually what stands out to me. But yeah, well deserved, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him.
All right, next superstar we're going to talk about, Michelle McCool. And just a brief rundown on her, she's recognized as the inaugural WWE Divas Champion, which is wild. Yeah. And the first to hold both the Divas and Women's Championship, making her a four-time champion overall. Wow. What a career. What do you have to say?
I think she's really cool, and she didn't have that long of a career. I think it was only 7 years. The fact that she was the first Divas Champion, and at that time, it was that awkward time with women's wrestling where they were given the spotlight but not the credibility, and I feel like Michelle was one of them that brought in her athleticism, really developed her character, really wanted to show what she could do in the ring with the other ladies. And I just remember her working so well with Mickie James and Victoria. And I loved that it was Triple H that surprised her during the interview with Taker that she was going to get inducted. So I thought that was really cool, knowing that Taker surprised Triple H with his. But you know what? Michelle is someone that I wish could be in the ring now and take on like Charlotte and Bianca and Rhea. I would love to see her take on those girls, but very well deserved. And I love that Taker is going to be inducting her.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I'm actually kind of with you. Just like you said, back then when she was wrestling, honestly, women didn't really have that. They didn't have matches that were that long, which was sad. A lot of the matches were basically 5 minutes. They were kind of in and out, and it's not like how it is now. So I think they kind of paved that way.
Yes.
So we have to give superstars like Michelle McCool credit for what she's done. That, and the one thing that stands out to me, just doing my research and just kind of remembering everything again, I remember she defeated Melina to unite the titles. So that just goes to show you that creative thought very highly of her, and they thought that she was going to run the show. And wow, I mean, she really did. So hats off. And I'm kind of with you. It's really cool that Undertaker gets to induct her.
Yay.
All right. Next tag team we're actually going to feature, which is the only tag team being inducted, the Natural Disasters. You want to talk about massive dudes in a ring? What do you have to say about that?
They are a blast from the past. These guys, when I think of them, I think of being very little, early 90s. Hell, the Shockmaster is a Hall of Famer now. Who would have thought? But yeah, I mean, they were only together for only a very short period of time, and they turned face when they won the tag titles from Money Inc. It was at Ted DiBiase and IRS with Jimmy Hart. And these guys were massive, over 800 pounds together, but they could move and they were efficient, and they weren't afraid to fly off the ropes and just flip around. So big guys, but I love them. I wish, both were here to take it, but it is what it is. So, but well deserved. It's about time.
Yeah, 100%. That's actually the one thing that kind of stood out to me is them winning the titles, which I thought was really cool. So they obviously thought highly of them. And yeah, putting two guys that size-wise are almost identical, which is really cool. But I'm kind of with you. One of the coolest things about Hall of Fame is the nostalgia behind it. And I remember early 90s. Remember, this is more of the cartoonish days of wrestling. Yeah. They wanted guys that look like that. And it just brings back good memories. But yeah, well-deserved. I'm so glad that they're getting in. All right. Okay. Next person we're going to talk about. We already had a spotlight on him. I'm going to go over the accomplishment because why not? 14 World Championships, 9 WWE Championships, 5 World Heavyweight Championships, 5 Intercontinental Championships, 2 Royal Rumble victories in the 1997 King of the Ring, and being the second Grand Slam champion. The mastermind. The reason why wrestling's hot right now. Triple H. Wow. It is damn time.
That's all he accomplished.
That's love it.
I mean, there are no words. He is, he started from the bottom. He is a hardworking man. He is a company guy. And I mean, he's accomplished everything. I wish he got that retirement match like he should have, but I get it. Your health comes first, and he deserves this. And like we said, we already know he's technically already a Hall of Famer because of DX back in 2019. But I am so glad that he's getting his flowers this year, and it should have been years ago. And I'm so proud of him, and I love what he's done for the company so far and what he has for the future, because he really thinks as a wrestler, but also what is better for the fans and what's good for the future. So I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the legacy in ring speaks for itself. DX, he was technically the sidekick turned into the leader, and then won all those world titles. We don't have to go through the accomplishments again. And if you want to hear more about his accomplishments, watch our spotlight. But listen, what could arguably be his most important attribute is making wrestling fun again, because by far, creative storylines, putting the right people over, I mean, just everything. The reason why like we're very giddy about talking about wrestling right now is because of Triple H. So hats off, and yeah, I mean, this is just we're glowing right now. So congratulations.
Yeah, and like you said, even like if you look back like 5+ years ago, we were struggling as fans because we only had like 1 or 2 people that would, get some pop. And now, look at us. We are hollering and we can't wait for the next week's show. It is just, he is a mastermind and I'm very thankful for him. So.
Absolutely. All right. Last, but definitely not least, for the first time in Hall of Fame history for the WWE, they're inducting a match. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 13. We've mentioned this many times on our Mania recaps. What do you have to say, Des?
This was on my list as one of my top Mania matches. So WWE, we have great taste, don't we? This is super iconic because it is these 2 powerhouses. I mean, it's Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Man, the heat in that feud and that buildup was hot. I actually rewatched it this morning and I was just giggling because I'm like, this is amazing. And this is one of the matches I watch over and over just because from start to finish, even from the entrances until the very end, was so powerful, so good. Everyone was so engaged. And this was a double turn. This was Stone Cold's face turn. This is Bret's heel turn. We got it all. And it has that iconic image of Stone Cold bleeding. And he doesn't tap out. He passes out. So it was just amazing and well-deserved, and I can't wait to hear them talk about it on Friday.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad that they're adding this feature because there's plenty of meat on this bone, especially they're going to do this moving forward. Yeah, one of the greatest matches of all time. Here are the other cool 2 things that came out of this. One, this really put Stone Cold over. Ended up winning the world title next year and just went on his run. 2, it cemented Bret Hart as a heel for the first time in his career. And yeah, he did it excellently. The excellence of execution actually perfected this. Being the first heel to ever be a heel in the U.S. and a babyface overseas, anywhere it goes. I just thought that was so brilliant because we still haven't seen it to this day. So yeah, hats off for creative for actually just recognizing how significant this is. And this is the fact that this was the first match they're doing as far as a specific match, that's very important.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see what they're going to pick for next year and moving forward because I'm like, oh, it's just going to be our entire list. So
exactly. We called it. We have documented proof of that too.
You can watch our past episode.
Love it. All right. And what are your final thoughts about this year's Hall of Fame?
There's no question that, every single person listed on this deserves it. They are a part of history. Us as fans, immediately as soon as they were announced, we're like, that's right. It makes complete sense. It's about damn time. And it's going to be full of emotion, a lot of nostalgia, which is I love that so much. So it's very much well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually on the same page with you. And if you're starting to notice the theme, and again, I don't know if this is done intention or whatever the case is, but look, we have guys that are representing NWA, the early 90s, and the Attitude Era. So, I mean, you're getting, talk about nostalgia, you're getting nostalgia from everywhere, in addition to the legacy guys that, they're going to do as well. So, again, like this, the Hall of Fame is for everyone. It's not just for the current wrestling fans, for the wrestling fans of the past, and going future as well. All right, that actually wraps up this episode. What are your thoughts on this year's Hall of Fame? Please DM us at The Chutes and Ladders. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Josen.
All right, until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Bye, friends.
Chutes and Ladders. Follow us for more content.